हाँ वालों के पक्ष में हुआ, प्रस्ताव स्वीकृत हुआ और विधेयक पारित हुआ।
The Rajya Sabha on Tuesday returned to the Lok Sabha the Manipur GST bill aimed at replacing an ordinance promulgated to implement the GST 2.0 reforms in the northeastern state. Initiating the discussion in the Rajya Sabha, nominated member Harshvardhan Shringla said that the government is working tirelessly to restore peace, rebuild confidence and revive normal life in Manipur. He said the bill is a major step towards strengthening the taxation system in the state and improving revenue structure. Meanwhile, replying to the debate in the upper house, Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that the bill will bring in ease of doing business and avoid unnecessary disputes in Manipur. She said businesses as well as enterprises will also be benefited from this legislation. The Finance Minister also said that this amendment will help establish a track and trace system, and once such a system is in place, it will be easier to prevent leaks. She also informed the House that the rules for generating vouchers at the time of supply of goods have been simplified. Responding to the opposition's concerns, Nirmala Sitharaman clarified that the rates of essential goods have been reduced from 12 to 5%, and only sin or demerit goods will be taxed at 40%.
We are bringing consistency in the process and discourage frivolous litigation, because people will just go rush in for some kind of a time buying or whatever. That frivolous litigations will be now discouraged. And lastly, sir, when goods are kept in a special economic zone or a free trade warehousing zone and are sold before being taken out of the zone itself, such transactions will now be treated as neither a supply of good or a supply of services, providing again the much needed clarity and avoiding unintended consequences. So even before, if it is removed from the SEZ or the special economic warehousing zone, if the sale happens, we'll treat it as non-sale, in the sense we'll treat it as neither a supply of goods or a supply of services, so there won't be any confusion. So these above amendments have been carried out in the Central GST Act, but again, as I said earlier, sir, it hadn't happened during the Manipur state GST because of ordinance which had to be brought in. Now we're converting that ordinance into a law. So there are one or two points of clarification which some members spoke about, which I'll very quickly finish. In fact, there were 13 of them who spoke, and some of them did raise some issues. So, Madam Sulata Dev mentioned that in the recent maximum GST rate is 28%. 28% actually has been abolished, sir. We don't have 28% anymore. So it has not been, it's not there anymore, it has been abolished. And items which were in 28% either moved to 18, or if they were sin goods, they moved to 40. So there is no more 28%. And when we say sin goods, we say demerit goods, such as tobacco products, have all gone to 40. So that is one thing, sir. Essentials, Madam Sulata, they've mentioned essentials like milk, food, toothpaste, handicrafts are subject to GST. The rates of essentials have been reduced from 12 to 5%, sir. In fact, handicrafts have come to 5%. In fact, milk has no GST at all. It's never had. And even now, except for that UHT, which has a specialized package, high temperature heating, and then it can be preserved without refrigeration. It used to come in a specialized pack that till you open it, it can remain without refrigeration. After that, if you open it, you'll have to keep it in the fridge. That used to have a rate of tax. Other than that, milk never had a tax. Even this has now come to zero. The UHT is also come down to zero. So I just want that clarification given. As always, members from Orissa, I can't see Sasmit Patra here, always refer to Kendu leaves or the Tendu leaves, in which BD or tobacco is put in and it is rolled. that leaf is called tendu leaves. It's collected as a minor forest produce. Sir, I want to reassure the member, it's now come down to 5 and she's recognized that in her speech. But on Kendu leaves, sir, at least 4 GST councils have met and spoken on it. Elaborate discussions have happened. And if one state, Orissa, wants it, Telangana wouldn't want it. We've crossed all those stages and now we've brought it down to 5. Bring it down to 0. That's been, I'm sorry to say, sir, many requests come like that. By keeping an item in 0, where even some input credit can be accruing to you, will not accrue to you if you keep it at 0. So there is a benefit in keeping it at the lowest possible rate, which is 5%. If I move to 0, even the little refund that you get, you will not get. So there is a reason, madam, that we've kept it at 5. I want to inform the honorable member through you, sir. Sri Ayodhya Ramireddy ji spoke about inverted duty structure, sir. I'm happy to say as much work happened on rate rationalization, bringing rates down, making 4 rates into 2 only, not having 4. Equal amount of work went into correcting inverted duty structure. And I'm happy to say most of the items where inversion happened because the final product was sold at, let us say, 5%. The inputs were being bought at 12%, which is no more there, but 12%. The difference could not be retrieved, and as a result, there was an inversion. But for retrieving the difference, you had to give them refunds. That inversion problem has been largely addressed in the new generation GST, which has come into force. So I would like to inform Sri Ayodhya Ramireddy that inversion has been addressed. 99%, there can be still 1 or 2 which we'll address as and when it comes about, sir. As particular mention was made by the honorable member on hospitality. We have actually reduced the rate of tax on hotel rooms below 7,500 rupees per night to 5%. Earlier it was 12%. Rooms which are at the rate of 7,500 or lesser were earlier taxed at 12%. Now they have all come down to 5%, sir. This will, I'm sure, make travel easier. Tourism will have an attractive point there, and they will have reason to encourage tourists to take care of the rooms which are at that cost. So with these words, sir, I request the House to consider to pass this bill because it will help the state of Manipur. Thank you very much.
The question is that the Manipur Goods and Service Tax Second Amendment Bill 2025 as passed by Lok Sabha be taken into consideration. Those in favor will please say aye. Aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. The motion is adopted.
Let's take a look at the major highlights of the bill. Determination of liabilities in certain cases. The bill specifies a new framework for determining liabilities in case of tax not paid, tax short paid, tax incorrectly refunded, or input tax credit wrongly utilized. This framework will apply to liabilities pertaining to the financial year 2024-25 onwards. The concerned officer will serve a notice in this regard within 42 months from the due date for filing the annual return or from the date of refund. Waiver of SGST recovery. The bill empowers to waive recovery of SGST if it is satisfied that SGST was not levied or short levied on any supplier of goods or services as a result of general practice. Pre-deposit amount for filing appeals. Under the Act, a person must deposit a specified amount for filing an appeal. This is applicable for appeals before the appellate authority, against orders of adjudicating officers, and the appellate tribunal. The bill lowers the deposit amount from 20% to 10% of the tax in dispute. Under the Act, the deposit amount is subject to a maximum of 25 crore for appeals before the authority and 50 crore for appeals before the tribunal. The bill lowers both these thresholds to 20 crore. Timeline for appeals before the Appellate Tribunal. Under the Act, an appeal to the Appellate Tribunal must be filed within 3 months from the date of the communication of an order. The bill allows this period to be extended until a date notified. Certain insurance services not treated as supplies. Schedule 3 of the Act specifies a list of activities that are not considered as supply of goods and services. Hence, these are exempt from levy of SGST. The bill adds certain activities related to co-insurance and reinsurance to this schedule. Manipur is focusing on growth through infrastructure development, enhanced digital connectivity and economic diversification, with key areas being improved, transportation networks increased and access to clean water, and support for women entrepreneurs and rural livelihoods. The state has seen significant investment in road and rail expansion. Prime Minister Narendra Modi called Manipur the land of courage and valor, assuring people that peace and prosperity in the state will be the government's foremost priority. Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently inaugurated multiple development projects in Manipur. Addressing the gathering, the Prime Minister said that projects worth thousands of crores have been inaugurated for the development of Manipur. He remarked that these projects will enhance the ease of living for the people and strengthen the infrastructure in the region. The Prime Minister said that new employment opportunities will be created for the youth of Manipur and for the sons and daughters of the state. He also stated that among the projects launched, 2 were particularly significant, highlighting the Manipur Urban Roads project with an investment of over 3,600 crore and Manipur Infotech Development project with an investment exceeding 500 crore. He also remarked that these projects will strengthen road infrastructure in Imphal and infuse new energy into Manipur's bright future. Highlighting that after independence, major cities in the western and southern parts of the country witnessed development and became hubs of aspiration, PM Modi remarked that youth in those regions received new opportunities. The 21st century belongs to the East and the Northeast, he added. The Prime Minister stated that Government of India has consistently prioritized the development of Manipur, highlighting that as a result, Manipur's growth rate has been steadily increasing. He noted that before 2014, Manipur's growth rate was less than 1%. And today, Manipur is progressing many times faster than before. He also stated that a new phase in infrastructure development has begun in Manipur and expressed satisfaction that the pace of road construction and national highway development in the state has increased manifold. He added that rapid work is underway to extend road connectivity to every village. Prime Minister remarked that he envisions Imphal as one of the developed cities of India that will fulfill the dreams of youth and accelerate the nation's progress.
मणिपुर बॉर्डर से सटा राज्य है। यहां पर कनेक्टिविटी हमेशा से बहुत बड़ी चुनौती रही है। अच्छी सड़कें ना होने की वजह से आपको जो परेशानी आती रही है वो मैं भली भांति समझता हूं। इसलिए 2014 के बाद से मेरा बहुत जोर रहा कि मणिपुर की कनेक्टिविटी के लिए लगातार काम किया जाए और इसके लिए भारत सरकार ने 2 स्तर पर काम किया। पहला, हमने मणिपुर में रेल और रोड का बजट कई गुना बढ़ाया और दूसरा, शहरों के साथ ही गांवों तक भी सड़कें पहुंचाने पर जोर लगाया। साथियों, बीते वर्षों में यहां नेशनल हाईवेज पर 3,700 करोड़ रुपए 3,700 करोड़ रुपए खर्च किए गए हैं। 8,700 करोड़ की लागत से नए हाईवे पर काम बहुत तेजी से चल रहा है। पहले यहां गांवों में पहुंचना कितना मुश्किल था, आप भी जानते हैं। अब सैकड़ों गांवों में यहां रोड कनेक्टिविटी पहुंचाई गई है। इसका बहुत अधिक लाभ पहाड़ी लोगों को, ट्राइबल गांवों को हुआ है। साथियों, हमारी सरकार के दौरान ही मणिपुर में रेल कनेक्टिविटी का विस्तार हो रहा है। जिरीबाम इंफाल रेलवे लाइन बहुत जल्द राजधानी इंफाल को नेशनल रेल नेटवर्क से जोड़ देगी। इस पर सरकार 22,000 करोड़ रुपए खर्च कर रही है। 400 करोड़ की लागत से बना नया इंफाल एयरपोर्ट एयर कनेक्टिविटी को नई ऊंचाई दे रहा है। इस एयरपोर्ट से राज्य से दूसरे हिस्सों के लिए हेलीकॉप्टर सर्विसेज भी शुरू की गई है। ये बढ़ती हुई कनेक्टिविटी मणिपुर के आप सभी लोगों की सुविधाएं बढ़ा रही है। यहां के नौजवानों के लिए रोजगार के नए मौके बना रही है।
Well, viewers, that's all we had for you in this edition. Thanks for watching and stay tuned to Sunset TV. Goodbye for now from my side.
नमस्कार, स्वागत है आपका संसद टीवी में। आप देख रहे हैं अपडेट एट 12। सबसे पहले नजर सुर्खियों पर। भारत न्यूजीलैंड के बीच हुआ मुक्त व्यापार समझौता। न्यूजीलैंड के प्रधानमंत्री क्रिस्टोफर लक्सन ने प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी से समझौते पर की बात। एफटीए के बाद 2 दशकों में भारत को न्यूजीलैंड का एक्सपोर्ट $1.3 बिलियन बढ़ने का अनुमान। आईडीएस प्रोबेशनर्स से उपराष्ट्रपति सीपी राधाकृष्णन का आह्वान। विकसित भारत 2047 के लिए तय करें प्रोबेशनर्स अपना योगदान। विकसित भारत जी रामजी विधेयक बना कानून। राष्ट्रपति द्रौपदी मुर्मू ने दी मंजूरी। 100 की जगह 125 दिनों के काम की मिली गारंटी। राष्ट्रपति ने शांति विधेयक भी किया मंजूर। अब निजी क्षेत्र के हाथ में भी होगी परमाणु ऊर्जा। लोकसभा अध्यक्ष ओम बिरला का आज व्यस्त कार्यक्रम। लोकसभा अध्यक्ष मारवाड़ महोत्सव 2025 में होंगे शामिल। एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत की थीम पर हो रहा है मारवाड़ महोत्सव का आयोजन। इसरो बुधवार को ब्लू बर्ड ब्लॉक 2 नामक संचार उपग्रह का करेगा प्रक्षेपण। अमेरिका की AST स्पेस मोबाइल द्वारा निर्मित है उपग्रह। निम्न पृथ्वी कक्षा में पहुंचने वाला अब तक का होगा सबसे बड़ा वाणिज्यिक संचार उपग्रह। शुरुआत करते हैं। भारत और न्यूजीलैंड के बीच मुक्त व्यापार समझौता हो गया है। न्यूजीलैंड के प्रधानमंत्री क्रिस्टोफर लक्सन ने बयान में ऐसा ही इशारा मिल रहा है। न्यूजीलैंड के प्रधानमंत्री क्रिस्टोफर लक्सन ने कहा है कि न्यूजीलैंड भारत के मुक्त व्यापार समझौते FTA के समापन के बाद उन्होंने प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी से बातचीत की है। लक्सन ने बताया कि इस समझौते के तहत न्यूजीलैंड के भारत को होने वाले लगभग 95% निर्यात पर टैरिफ को या तो घटा दिया गया है या पूरी तरह समाप्त कर दिया गया है। उन्होंने अनुमान जताया कि अगले 2 दशकों में भारत को न्यूजीलैंड का एक्सपोर्ट हर साल 1.1 बिलियन से 1.3 बिलियन तक बढ़ सकता है। न्यूजीलैंड के प्रधानमंत्री क्रिस्टोफर लक्सन ने कहा है कि ये समझौता दोनों देशों के बीच मजबूत दोस्ती पर आधारित है। भारत दुनिया की सबसे तेजी से बढ़ती अर्थव्यवस्थाओं में से एक है और इससे कीवी बिजनेस को 1.4 अरब भारतीय कस्टमर्स तक पहुंच मिलेगी। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने रविवार को असम दौरे के दौरान राज्य को एक बड़ी विकास परियोजना की सौगात दी है। पीएम मोदी ने असम के नामरूप में 10,601 करोड़ रुपए की लागत से बनने वाले असम वैली फर्टिलाइजर एंड केमिकल्स लिमिटेड के आधुनिक अमोनिया यूरिया प्लांट का शिलान्यास किया। इस संयंत्र में सालाना करीब 12 लाख मीट्रिक टन उर्वरक उत्पादन की क्षमता है। इस मौके पर आयोजित विशाल जनसभा को संबोधित करते हुए प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा कि आज असम और पूरे पूर्वोत्तर के लिए ऐतिहासिक दिन है। प्रधानमंत्री ने इस आधुनिक उर्वरक संयंत्र के लिए देश भर के किसानों को शुभकामनाएं दी। उन्होंने कहा कि भाजपा की डबल इंजन की सरकार में उद्योग और कनेक्टिविटी साथ साथ आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, जिससे कि असम के सपनों को पंख मिल रहे हैं और युवाओं में नए अवसरों की उम्मीद जगी है।
विकसित भारत के निर्माण में देश के किसानों की, यहां के अन्नदाताओं की बहुत बड़ी भूमिका है। इसलिए हमारी सरकार किसानों के हितों को सर्वोपरि रखते हुए दिन रात काम कर रही है। यहां आप सभी को किसान हितैषी योजनाओं का लाभ दिया जा रहा है। कृषि कल्याण की योजनाओं के बीच ये भी जरूरी है कि हमारे किसानों को खाद की निरंतर सप्लाई मिलती रहे। आने वाले समय में ये यूरिया कारखाना ये सुनिश्चित करेगा। इस फर्टिलाइजर प्रोजेक्ट पर करीब 11,000 करोड़ रुपए खर्च किए जाएंगे। यहां हर साल 12 लाख मैट्रिक टन से ज्यादा खाद बनेगी। जब उत्पादन यही होगा तो सप्लाई तेज होगी, लॉजिस्टिक का खर्चा घटेगा। साथियों, नाम रूप की ये यूनिट रोजगार, स्वरोजगार के हजारों नए अवसर भी बनाएगी।
सरकार द्वारा किसानों की हर जरूरत को ध्यान में रखते हुए ये काम पर जोर दिया गया है। प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा कि प्रतिकूल मौसम के कारण फसलों को नुकसान होने पर फसल बीमा योजना के माध्यम से किसानों को सहायता प्रदान की जाती है। उन्होंने इस बात पर जोर दिया कि किसानों को उनकी उपज का उचित मूल्य मिलना सुनिश्चित करने के लिए खरीद व्यवस्था में सुधार किया गया है। प्रधानमंत्री ने पुष्टि की कि सरकार का दृढ़ विश्वास है कि देश तभी प्रगति कर सकता है जब किसान सशक्त हों और इसके लिए हर संभव प्रयास जारी है।
आज बीज से बाजार तक भाजपा सरकार किसानों के साथ खड़ी है। खेत के काम के लिए सीधे खाते में पैसे पहुंचाए जा रहे हैं ताकि किसान को उधार के लिए भटकना न पड़े। अब तक पीएम किसान सम्मान निधि के लगभग 4 लाख करोड़ रुपए किसानों के खाते में भेजे गए हैं। आंकड़ा याद रहेगा? भूल जाएंगे? 4 लाख करोड़ रुपया मेरे देश के किसानों के खाते में सीधे जमा किए हैं। इसी साल किसानों की मदद के लिए 35,000 करोड़ रुपए की 2 योजनाएं, नई योजनाएं शुरू की है। 35,000 करोड़। पीएम धन धान्य कृषि योजना और दलहन आत्मनिर्भरता मिशन, इससे खेती को बढ़ावा मिलेगा। साथियों, हम किसानों की हर जरूरत को ध्यान रखते हुए काम कर रहे हैं। खराब मौसम की वजह से फसल नुकसान होने पर किसान को फसल बीमा योजना का सहारा मिल रहा है। फसल का सही दाम मिले, इसके लिए खरीद की व्यवस्था सुधारी गई है। हमारी सरकार का साफ मानना है कि देश तभी आगे बढ़ेगा जब मेरा किसान मजबूत होगा, और इसके लिए हर संभव प्रयास किए जा रहे हैं।
राष्ट्रपति द्रौपदी मुर्मू ने विकसित भारत रोजगार और आजीविका मिशन ग्रामीण विकसित भारत जी राम जी बिल 2025 को मंजूरी दे दी है। इस स्वीकृति के साथ ही ये विधेयक अब कानून बन गया है। इससे पहले ये बिल संसद के दोनों सदनों से पास हो चुका था। नए कानून के तहत अब ग्रामीण परिवारों को प्रति वित्त वर्ष 125 दिन का वैधानिक मजदूरी रोजगार सुनिश्चित किया जाएगा, जो कि पहले 100 दिन था। सरकार इस बिल को अगले साल 2026 से 1 अप्रैल से लागू करने की तैयारी में है। ग्रामीण विकास मंत्रालय ने बताया कि ये ग्रामीण रोजगार नीति में बदलाव की दिशा में एक महत्वपूर्ण कदम है। मंत्रालय ने आगे बताया कि ये कानून सशक्तिकरण, समावेशी विकास पहलों के तालमेल और सभी जरूरतमंद लोगों को लाभ देने को बढ़ावा देता है। विकसित भारत जी राम जी एक्ट 20 साल पुराने महात्मा गांधी राष्ट्रीय ग्रामीण रोजगार गारंटी एक्ट मनरेगा 2005 की जगह लाया गया है। राष्ट्रपति द्रौपदी मुर्मू ने संसद के शीतकालीन सत्र में पारित किए गए भारत के रूपांतरण के लिए नाभिकीय ऊर्जा का संधारणीय दोहन और अभिवर्धन शांति विधेयक को मंजूरी दे दी है, जिसके बाद ये कानून बन गया है। सरकार की ओर से जारी अधिसूचना में कहा गया है कि राष्ट्रपति ने शनिवार को शांति विधेयक को मंजूरी दे दी है। इसके साथ ही असैन्य परमाणु क्षेत्र से संबंधित सभी कानून अब शांति कानून में समाहित हो गए हैं और इस क्षेत्र में निजी कंपनियों की भागीदारी का दरवाजा भी खुल गया है। इस बिल के लागू होने से 1962 का एटॉमिक एनर्जी एक्ट और 2010 का सिविल लायबिलिटी फॉर न्यूक्लियर डैमेज एक्ट रद्द हो गया, जो कि पहले नागरिक परमाणु ऊर्जा क्षेत्र की विकास में बाधा बने हुए थे। ऐसे में अब शांति विधेयक के अनुसार अब निजी कंपनियां और संयुक्त उद्यम सरकार से लाइसेंस लेकर न्यूक्लियर पावर प्लांट का निर्माण, संचालन और डीकमीशनिंग कर सकती हैं। उपराष्ट्रपति सीपी राधाकृष्णन ने आज आईडीएएस प्रोबेशनर्स के साथ बातचीत की। उपराष्ट्रपति ने इस दौरान आईडीएएस प्रोबेशनर्स का मार्गदर्शन किया, विकसित भारत 2047 के लिए योगदान का आह्वान किया।
This year holds special significance as we celebrate its 150th year. So our defense account section is 275, whereas our Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel ji's 150th birthday. So our department is 125 years older than Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. At this juncture, I would like to commend the contributions of the Union Public Service Commission, which is celebrating its 100th year of establishment next year. It is 99 not out, but still it is doing wonderfully well. The standards of our UPC is one of the best in the world, and it has not gone down, rather it is improving every year. And when our Defense Secretary was telling that from various sections, with various subject knowledge, you all have come here, and that is wonderful, and that is the need of the hour also. It has served as a guardian of merit, integrity and fairness in India's civil service recruitment. That is the great credit to UPSC. As civil servants, we all have an important role to play as we march towards achieving the ambitious vision to transform the nation into a developed country by 2027. Viksit Bharat. You all are aware that this is the Amrit Kal of our Honorable Prime Minister Shriman Narendra Modi ji. He has given a target. So a ship should know to which direction it should move, which destination it should move. So without the target moving, slowly lethargy will be dominating. When the target is there, then comparison will be there, then you will get enthusiasm to move towards your target. That's why this clarion call has been given by our Sriman Narendra Modi ji, that Viksit Bharat by 2047. It is very much possible if we all work together as a team, with a team spirit, not a group spirit. Group spirit will serve only few people. Team spirit will always serve the entire nation, entire society, entire our team.
बढ़ते अगली खबर की ओर। मारवाड़ महोत्सव 2025 संबलपुर ओडिशा में 18 से 22 दिसंबर 2025 तक आयोजित किया गया, जो कि राजस्थान और ओडिशा की संस्कृति का एक भव्य समागम था। इस महोत्सव में राजस्थानी लोकगीत, नृत्य, व्यंजन और पारंपरिक कलाएं जैसे कालबेलिया, भवई और संबलपुरी ढोल प्रदर्शन शामिल थे, जिसे मारवाड़ी युवा मंच द्वारा एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत के तहत आयोजित किया गया था। आज इस महोत्सव के अंतिम दिन लोकसभा अध्यक्ष ओम बिरला इस महोत्सव में मुख्य अतिथि के रूप में शामिल होंगे। लोकसभा अध्यक्ष ओम बिरला आज शाम 5 बजे इस महोत्सव में उपस्थित होकर समूह को संबोधित करेंगे। कार्यक्रम का सीधा प्रसारण आप संसद टीवी पर देख सकते हैं। बांग्लादेश में हिंदुओं पर हो रहे लगातार हमलों और दीपू चंद्र दास नाम के हिंदू युवक की निर्मम हत्या पर भारत ने बेहद कड़ा रुख अपनाया है। साथ ही विदेश मंत्रालय ने बांग्लादेशी मीडिया के उस झूठे प्रोपेगेंडा की भी धज्जियां उड़ा दी, जिसमें दावा किया जा रहा है कि दिल्ली स्थित बांग्लादेश उच्चायोग की सुरक्षा में बड़ी सेंध लगी है। भारत ने इसे भ्रामक प्रचार करार देते हुए खारिज कर दिया है। विदेश मंत्रालय ने बेहद सख्त बयान जारी करते हुए साफ किया है कि भारत अपने पड़ोसी देश में हो रही घटनाओं पर मूक दर्शक बनकर नहीं बैठा है। मंत्रालय ने कहा कि भारत बांग्लादेश में विकसित हो रही स्थिति पर करीबी से नजर बनाए हुए है। भारतीय अधिकारियों ने ढाका में अपने समकक्षों से सीधा संपर्क साधकर दीपू चंद्र दास की हत्या पर गहरा आक्रोश व्यक्त किया है। विदेश मंत्रालय ने बयान में कहा है कि हमने बांग्लादेशी अधिकारियों के सामने अल्पसंख्यकों पर हो रहे हमलों को लेकर अपनी गहरी चिंताएं व्यक्त की हैं। हमने ये भी आग्रह किया है कि दास की बर्बर हत्या के दोषियों को तुरंत पकड़ा जाए, साथ ही उन्हें न्याय के कटघरे में लाया जाए। नेशनल टाइगर कंजर्वेशन अथॉरिटी यानी NTCA की 28वीं मीटिंग और प्रोजेक्ट एलिफेंट की 22वीं स्टीयरिंग कमेटी की मीटिंग पश्चिम बंगाल के सुंदरबन टाइगर रिजर्व में केंद्रीय पर्यावरण, वन और जलवायु परिवर्तन मंत्री भूपेंद्र यादव की अध्यक्षता में हुई। बैठक में देश भर के बाघ और हाथी बहुल राज्यों से आए वरिष्ठ सरकारी अधिकारी, वन्यजीव वैज्ञानिक, संरक्षण विशेषज्ञ और प्रमुख संस्थानों के प्रतिनिधि शामिल हुए। बैठक के दौरान देश में बाघ संरक्षण की वर्तमान स्थिति, निगरानी तंत्र, मानव वन्यजीव संघर्ष, अवैध शिकार की रोकथाम और बाघ आवासों की सुरक्षा जैसे अहम मुद्दों पर विस्तृत चर्चा की गई। अधिकारियों ने बाघ गणना के नवीनतम रुझानों, तकनीकी नवाचारों और फील्ड स्तर पर सामने आ रही चुनौतियों को मंत्री के समक्ष रखा। विशेष रूप से सुंदरबन जैसे मैंग्रोव पारिस्थितिकी तंत्र में बाघ संरक्षण की जटिलताओं पर गंभीर मंथन हुआ। NTCA की मीटिंग की अध्यक्षता करते हुए वन और जलवायु परिवर्तन मंत्री भूपेंद्र यादव ने भारत के दुनिया भर के पहचाने जाने वाले टाइगर कंजर्वेशन मॉडल पर जोर दिया। साथ ही साइंस बेस्ड मैनेजमेंट, लैंडस्केप लेवल प्लानिंग, कम्युनिटी पार्टिसिपेशन, इंटर स्टेट कोऑर्डिनेशन और इंटरनेशनल कोऑपरेशन के महत्व पर भी जोर दिया। महाराष्ट्र में हुए स्थानीय निकाय चुनावों में बीजेपी के नेतृत्व वाली महायुति ने शानदार जीत दर्ज की है। राज्य चुनाव आयोग के आंकड़ों के मुताबिक बीजेपी, शिवसेना और एनसीपी के महायुति महागठबंधन ने रविवार को 288 नगर परिषदों और नगर पंचायतों के चुनावों में स्थानीय निकायों के अध्यक्षों के 207 पदों पर जीत हासिल करके शानदार जीत दर्ज की, जबकि विपक्षी महाविकास अघाड़ी सिर्फ 44 सीटों पर सिमट गई। महाराष्ट्र नगर पंचायत और नगर परिषद चुनावों में महायुति को मिले प्रचंड समर्थन पर प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने खुशी जताई है। उन्होंने इसके लिए मुख्यमंत्री देवेंद्र फडणवीस समेत एनडीए के सभी नेताओं को बधाई और शुभकामनाएं दी। प्रधानमंत्री ने सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म एक्स पर लिखा कि महाराष्ट्र विकास के साथ मजबूती के साथ खड़ा है। नगर परिषद और नगर पंचायत चुनावों में भाजपा और महायुति को आशीर्वाद देने के लिए महाराष्ट्र की जनता का आभारी हूं। ये जन केंद्रित विकास के हमारे दृष्टिकोण पर जनता के विश्वास को दर्शाता है। प्रधानमंत्री ने लिखा कि हम राज्य भर के प्रत्येक नागरिक की आकांक्षाओं को पूरा करने के लिए नई ऊर्जा के साथ काम करने के लिए प्रतिबद्ध हैं। मैं भाजपा और महायुति कार्यकर्ताओं द्वारा जमीनी स्तर पर की गई कड़ी मेहनत की सराहना करता हूं। भारतीय अंतरिक्ष अनुसंधान संगठन यानी इसरो बुधवार को संचार उपग्रह ब्लू बर्ड ब्लॉक 2 का प्रक्षेपण करेगा। ये अमेरिका की AST स्पेस मोबाइल कंपनी का उपग्रह है, जो कि LVM-3 M6 रॉकेट के जरिए पृथ्वी की निचली कक्षा में भेजा जाने वाला अब तक का सबसे बड़ा वाणिज्यिक उपग्रह होगा। ये ब्लू बर्ड ब्लॉक 2 उपग्रहों की अगली पीढ़ी है, जिसे अंतरिक्ष से सीधे सामान्य मोबाइल स्मार्टफोन को सेल्यूलर ब्रॉडबैंड कनेक्टिविटी प्रदान करने के लिए डिजाइन किया गया है। इसरो द्वारा विकसित लॉन्च व्हीकल मार्क 3 LVM-3 एक 3 चरणीय प्रक्षेपण यान है। इसका उपयोग पहले चंद्रयान 2 और चंद्रयान 3 मिशनों के साथ साथ वन वेव के 2 अभियानों में 72 उपग्रहों के प्रक्षेपण के लिए किया जा चुका है। LVM-3 ने पिछले महीने M5 CMS के 3 मिशन को भी सफलतापूर्वक पूरा किया था।
On 24 December, we are going to launch a commercial satellite from USA weighing 6.5 tons through our LVM-3, that is the launch vehicle Mark 3. And so it is ironical that once we were taking help from USA, and today we are going to launch a satellite, a very heavy satellite for communication purpose from USA. So that
राष्ट्रीय राजधानी दिल्ली सहित एनसीआर में आज की सुबह जहरीली हवा के साथ हुई। शहर में कोहरे और स्मॉग की मोटी परत छाई हुई है, जिससे कि विजिबिलिटी कम हो गई। कम विजिबिलिटी के कारण पिछले कई दिनों से दिल्ली एयरपोर्ट से उड़ानें प्रभावित हो रही हैं। शहर भर में स्मॉग और घने कोहरे के कारण हर दिन 50 से ज्यादा उड़ानें या तो रद्द या फिर लेट हो रही हैं। एयर क्वालिटी मैनेजमेंट कमीशन ने एनसीआर में ग्रेडेड रिस्पांस एक्शन प्लान यानी ग्रेप के स्टेज 4 के तहत सभी उपाय लागू किए हैं। इसके बावजूद हवा की गुणवत्ता दमघोंटू बनी हुई है। केंद्रीय प्रदूषण नियंत्रण बोर्ड के अनुसार दिल्ली का AQI पहले से थोड़ा बेहतर हुआ है, लेकिन बहुत खराब बना हुआ है। राजधानी के कई इलाकों में AQI 400 के ऊपर दर्ज किया गया है। आज सुबह 7 बजे दिल्ली का औसत AQI 377 रिकॉर्ड किया गया। आनंद विहार इलाके में AQI 402, भवाना में 408, पुरानी में 341, चांदनी चौक में 376, द्वारका में 386, ITO में 370, जहांगीरपुरी में 402, मुनिका में 400, नरेला में 418, विवेक विहार में 388 और वजीरपुर में 408 दर्ज किया गया है। तो वाणिज्य और उद्योग मंत्रालय की प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस हो रही है। आइए आपको सीधा लिए चलते हैं।
Next is on pharmaceutical and medical devices, which provides us expedited pathways, because now they recognize that if we have certifications from EU, UK, US, Canada, any of the regulators, then they will cut down the process for clearing our medicines, our medical devices. Presently, it takes 3 to 4 years there. IPR, this is another big win. They have agreed to amend their laws to give space to our GIs by making it in terms of EU parity. Organic primary products, we have entered into an interim MRA, and a more detailed one will be worked out. They will recognize whatever Australia has, with which we've got a full MRA. Economic and technical assistance across all areas which the two countries can help each other, including audiovisual industries. We know that the film industry is big into shooting there, tourism, sports, etc. Custom and trade facilitation, one of the things we do learn through FTAs is how to improve our systems. This is a part of that. So in this, the Indian customs and as well as that side has committed that 48 hours and 24 hours is what they will take to clear express shipment and perishable goods. MSMEs, a huge win, a cooperation from the New Zealand side on building linkages, incubators and plugging in trade-related information. Rules of origin, once again, it's a balanced, robust framework. And the last, cultural trade, traditional economic cooperation chapter is what we have built in terms of pushing our Ayush, our cultural, tribal affairs and wellness into the New Zealand landscape. There are 7 side letters in the agreement. One is on wine, one is the working holiday visa, one is the comparable regulators which they have listed in pharmaceuticals, the other one which they've listed in medical, the letter on geographical indicators, and a side letter on MRA in organics, and a side letter on consultations related to the dairy sector in the FTA. Strategic significance, very quickly, New Zealand helps us because it's a part of the Pacific Island country, and with the tariffs coming down, now our exporters can take advantage of a combined logistics, costing, and the combined economy of, let's say, Australia, New Zealand. By 2045, it is understood that they will have a huge demand of workers, and this is an opportunity for India to position itself as a key supplier for both skilled and semi-skilled workers. Pathways have been created for our Indian traditional medicine systems, that is Ayush. New Zealand, as a developed country, is part of many networks and organizations around the world, and our FTA with them helps us leverage that. There's a tariff preference for Indian goods into New Zealand finally comes. So far, exporters were struggling with the fact that the other countries had zero duties and we did not. So that's a plus for them. And this will help us leverage a deeper footprint in the Oceania region and work towards Viksit Bharat. Way forward, Commerce Secretary already mentioned, subject to our mutual agreement, we will be putting out the text in the coming days on an agreed date. There are processes to be completed on both sides, domestic processes. Once that is done, we would be going for signing, and EIF sometimes next year, little after the middle July, August, is a tentative day we are looking at. As of now, it's not decided. A quick recap, services of mobility, already mentioned that, 20 hours a week, post-study work visa, professionals, our students get global exposure, career growth, working holiday visa, and pioneering health and traditional medicine trade there. This is, the next 4 or 5 slides are product-wise. Peak duty on agriculture and processed foods was around 5%. Now with the FTA coming in, it comes down to 0. It helps us access the New Zealand market in all these products, cereals, processed foods, fruits and vegetables. Textiles and clothing, once again, the peak duty was 10%. We have exports there at 98 million. New Zealand has a larger import capacity, and hopefully with zero duties we can leverage that. Leather and footwear, similar situation, peak duty was 10%, and with this we can leverage the bigger market there. Pharmaceuticals, I have already mentioned, is a big win, and their imports are 1.4 billion in the last 3 years. Given our strength in this is an area we hope to capture. Engineering sector, it's a huge market in New Zealand of 11 billion. We are only at about 47 to 68 million in terms of our exports, and with duties now reducing to 0, this is an area which we hope to move ahead in terms of our export. And finally, the marine sector, New Zealand is traditionally more alive compared to India in the marine sector, but this is an area we can look at moving ahead on. And finally, the plastic and rubber industry, 10% peak duty, now down to 0. They have a 2.5 billion capacity to import, and our objective is to move beyond the 23 million that we are presently importing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I request Minister Sir to guide us as to how to look at this landmark agreement that we have reached.
Thank you, and a big congratulations to all of you and the nation under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership. This is the 7th free trade agreement. All of them with developed economies with significantly larger per capita incomes than India, demonstrating that we are expanding trade relations rapidly with countries who complement the Indian economy rather than compete with India. I was just seeing Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi's tweet, and below the tweet in the comments there's a very nice comment with which I would like to begin. And the person says, big move, fast execution, wasn't talk, it was intent. The FTA turns New Zealand ties from friendly to formidable, especially for trade, innovation and youth-driven growth. One of the first few responses to Prime Minister Modi's tweet that I just read and found interesting, hence I share it with you. Friends, this is a free trade agreement with New Zealand which is both comprehensive and forward-looking, reflecting the vision of our two leaders, Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Lakson, to elevate the relations to much higher strategic levels, much more comprehensively, which will not only include trade, education, R&D and innovation, services sector in a very big way, tourism, sports. It's a very multifarious engagement, particularly to benefit our farmers and dairy through technical collaboration, which will help them upgrade quality, productivity, and therefore the incomes of our farmers and dairy persons. Friends, it's a historic and landmark FTA because it's not only concluded in a record time of 9 months. With a developed economy, we are all aware it usually takes much longer. But more importantly, it has 2 or 3 very interesting elements. One, it is our first FTA which is led by a completely almost non-men team. It's a women-led FTA. The chief negotiator was our senior colleague, Joint Secretary Petal. All the track leads were largely women. And I must compliment our women of substance taking a lead in finalizing this agreement. Thank you very much. It's also our third FTA with a Five Eyes nation, Australia, UK and now New Zealand. We are soon going to launch discussions for the terms of reference with Canada also. And we are already at an advanced stage in our discussions with the USA. This reflects the growing strategic importance of India in world geopolitics. One must also recognize that this nation with a smaller population, smaller GDP, has high growth potential. Our current trade being a small proportion of their overall trade in goods and services, the upside that is available for us is very huge, both in goods and in services. And having gained access in a large number of service areas, including audiovisual, and 100% access in goods, we see tremendous potential for doubling this trade in the next 5 years, possibly greater than doubling this trade. And our complementary strengths between New Zealand and India, whether in agri-tech, whether in food processing, whether in clean energy and renewable energy, whether through mining, whether through our talent and skills of our young professionals, opportunities for dual degrees and setting up campuses of prestigious universities in India, while also encouraging Indian students to go to New Zealand and gain high quality education, and promoting MSME manufacturing in India. This FTA provides opportunities for all sections of our export community, opens up new doors for new exporters with new products wishing to diversify their export basket, and at the same time helps every region of the country, north, south, east, west, northeast, in different areas. It has some very interesting new elements of technical collaboration in fruit cultivation, in honey production, and other areas, including dairy, where they will bring latest modern technology to India to help our farmers, our dairy persons increase their incomes. It will certainly be a great boost for labor-intensive sectors like textiles, apparel, home decor, footwear, rubber and leather, while also encouraging export of automobiles, auto components, machinery, electronic goods, electricals, pharmaceuticals and chemicals. This shows you the wide range of products that will benefit, particularly areas where either there were high duties or some areas where there were barriers to trade, which we have both agreed to simplify and smoothen for faster access to their market. In terms of mobility, you are well aware, students who go to New Zealand to study will now be eligible for a 2-year work visa if they take a degree course, 3-year work visa if they take a bachelor's degree with honors, a 3-year work visa if they graduate in STEM disciplines, science, technology, engineering and mathematics, and a 4-year work visa when they do postgraduate studies in New Zealand. It's also interesting that almost 5,000 of our professionals who are yoga instructors, chefs, Ayush professionals, IT or educational teachers, nurses, caregivers will get professional visas for serving the New Zealand economy. We have also been able to open up 118 sectors which will also give us an opportunity to participate in tourism, IT, telecom, audiovisual, etc. We are very happy to report back to the nation that for pharmaceutical products, there will be a fast-track mechanism for approval of Indian pharmaceutical products, which will open up the doors to the New Zealand market and help us capture a larger share of their current imports of pharmaceuticals and medicines, drugs. They have also agreed to mutually accept good manufacturing practices which are approved in India by US, UK, EU or Canada, so that products or companies approved by these countries will get faster access in the New Zealand market. We have also been successful in negotiating collaboration in traditional medicine, the Ayush stream of wellness and medication, and this will open up good opportunities for healthcare, preventive healthcare, wellness and traditional medicines, which is India's area of strength. Friends, our farmers stand to gain hugely both through market access in New Zealand and through technology collaborations. Similarly, for our fishermen, our dairy persons, and giving a very small conditional TRQ, very small volume of concessional duty exports on a few products, we have been able to open up large vistas of market access and technology collaboration and benefit from New Zealand. In fact, we visited some of their farms where kiwis are produced. Many of them are run by our own hard-working farmers from Punjab and Uttarakhand. And I was amazed to see the quality and productivity. And they have assured to come down to India and help India gain similar productivity and technology benefits for our kiwi producers, for our apple producers, for our honey manufacturers and other agricultural products, including dairy. Friends, we have been very sensitive to protect all the sectors like farmers' interests in rice, wheat, dairy, soya, and various other farmer products, agricultural products, which have not been opened up with any access. We have also been very conscious of ensuring that our MSMEs and our startups, innovators get big opportunities in New Zealand. It's a win-win agreement, and I can assure the people of India that under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's very, very focused approach and guidance towards making India a greater player on the world stage, making India's industry, farming sector, agriculture sector and services sector an international player of relevance. We are negotiating free trade agreements and comprehensive partnerships strategically with countries who have significant incomes, with countries who offer large market opportunities, and undoubtedly these agreements will play a very important role in the Amrit Kal as we all work collectively as a nation of 1.4 billion people, as 140 crore Indians work towards our goal of Viksit Bharat 2047. Thank you.
तो आप सुन रहे थे केंद्रीय मंत्री पीयूष गोयल को, जिन्होंने हमें बताया कि किस तरह से भारत न्यूजीलैंड कई क्षेत्रों में एक साथ आगे बढ़ रहे हैं और आर्थिक द्विपक्षीय सहयोग में बढ़ावा दे रहे हैं। तो अपडेट एट 12 में इतना ही। मुझे मेरी टीम के साथ दीजिए इजाजत। नमस्कार।
भारत की स्वतंत्रता के लिए क्रांतिकारियों ने देश ही नहीं विदेश में भी जाकर अपार कष्ट सहन किए और भारत की स्वतंत्रता की अलख जगाई। ऐसे ही एक महान स्वतंत्रता सेनानी थे पांडुरंग सदाशिव खान खोजे, जिन्होंने यूरोप, अमेरिका, सोवियत संघ, जापान और चीन में जाकर अंग्रेजों के साम्राज्यवाद को उखाड़ फेंकने के लिए संगठित मोर्चा तैयार किया था। पांडुरंग खान खोजे का जन्म 7 नवंबर 1883 में महाराष्ट्र के वर्धा में हुआ था। प्रारंभिक शिक्षा के बाद वर्धा से वे नागपुर चले गए। महान स्वतंत्रता सेनानी बाल गंगाधर तिलक से वे बहुत प्रभावित हुए थे। वे तिलक की सलाह पर जापान पहुंचे ताकि पोर्ट आर्थर में रूस पर जापान की जीत की रणनीति की जानकारी मिल सके। उन्होंने चीन गणराज्य के प्रथम राष्ट्रपति सन यात सेन से बातचीत के दौरान कृषि के महत्व पर भी ध्यान दिया। पांडुरंग की बेटी सावित्री ने अपनी किताब रेवोल्यूशनरी वर्क पांडुरंग खान खोजे एंड टीना मॉडेटी में खान खोजे की जीवनी लिखी है। बात उस वक्त की है जब अमेरिका का सैन फ्रांसिस्को शहर भूकंप से पूरी तरह तबाह हो गया था। उसे फिर से बसाने के लिए मजदूरों की जरूरत थी। पांडुरंग खान खोजे मजदूरों के साथ पानी वाले जहाज से अमेरिका पहुंचे। वहां उन्होंने होटल में बर्तन धोने, वेटर का काम करने और अस्पताल में सहायक का काम किया। इन कार्यों से मिले पैसों से उन्होंने यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ कैलिफोर्निया बर्कले में कृषि की पढ़ाई की। 1910 में उन्हें कृषि विषय पर ही डॉक्टर की उपाधि मिली। अंग्रेजों से सशस्त्र संघर्ष के लिए उन्होंने माउंट टैमालपैस सैन्य अकादमी में हथियार चलाने का पूरा प्रशिक्षण लिया। इनके अमेरिका पहुंचने का मूल उद्देश्य दरअसल यही था। खान खोजे पंडित कांशीराम और सोहन सिंह बखाना को साथ लेकर स्टैमफोर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी के प्रोफेसर लाला हरदयाल से मिले। अमेरिका में गदर पार्टी की स्थापना हुई। गदर पार्टी का प्रहार विभाग खान खोजे के हाथ में था, जो क्रांतिकारियों को बम बनाने और पिस्तौल चलाने आदि का प्रशिक्षण देता था। पहला विश्व युद्ध शुरू होते ही अमेरिका में भारतीय क्रांतिकारी दूसरे अंतर्राष्ट्रीय क्रांतिकारी गुटों से सहयोग करने लगे। गदर के कार्यकर्ता ब्रिटिश सेना में असंतोष फैलाने लगे। गदर को जर्मनी और तुर्की से सहयोग मिला, जिसे अंग्रेजों ने हिंदू जर्मन षड्यंत्र नाम दिया। जर्मन सेना मध्य एशिया से भारत की तरफ बढ़ने लगी। जर्मन सेना के लीडर विलहेल्म वासमस से मिलकर खान खोजे ने एक फौज तैयार की ताकि बलूचिस्तान के रास्ते भारत में दाखिल हुआ जा सके। खान खोजे की अंग्रेजों के साथ हुई मुठभेड़ में उन्हें गंभीर चोट भी आई। बगदाद और बुखारा में उन्होंने अंग्रेजी शासन और अंग्रेजी साम्राज्यवाद के खिलाफ जगह जगह पुस्तकें और पर्चे बांटे। वस्त में अंग्रेजों ने उन्हें घेर लिया। वे घायल हो गए और गिरफ्तार कर लिए गए। कुछ दिन के बाद वे ठीक हुए तो शिवाजी के जेल से भागने की घटना और सावरकर के समुद्र में कूदने की घटना को याद कर खान खोजे ने जान पर खेलकर अंग्रेजों के जाल को किसी तरह से काट दिया और भाग निकले। यह एक बड़ी घटना थी जिससे ब्रिटिश शासन व्यवस्था हिल गई। इस बीच अंग्रेजों ने बड़ी संख्या में गदर क्रांतिकारियों को गिरफ्तार कर लिया। 1916 से 1919 तक खान खोजे ईरानी सेना में भर्ती होकर अंग्रेजी सेना से लड़ते रहे। खान खोजे पेरिस जाकर मैडम भीकाजी कामा से भी मिले, मगर मास्को में लेनिन से उनकी भेंट बेनतीजा रही। 1924 में खान खोजे मैक्सिको के लिए रवाना हो गए। मैक्सिको में खान खोजे के पेट पर बनाई। पेट भरने के लिए उन्होंने सब्जियों की खेती शुरू की। अपनी प्रतिभा के कारण डॉक्टर खान खोजे चैपिंगो में राष्ट्रीय कृषि स्कूल में प्रोफेसर बन गए। उन्होंने मक्का की अधिक उपज वाली किस्में तैयार की और सूखे की स्थिति को ध्यान में रखते हुए गेहूं की फसल तैयार करने पर अध्ययन किया। उनके प्रयासों ने मैक्सिको में हरित क्रांति की नींव रखी, जिसका नेतृत्व हरित क्रांति के जनक माने जाने वाले डॉक्टर नॉर्मन कर रहे थे। भारत में हरित क्रांति की शुरुआत कर रहे वैज्ञानिकों को भी खान खोजे के शोध का सहारा मिला। टीना मोडिटी की खींची गई तस्वीरों और भित्ति चित्रकार रिवेरा की बनाई गई पेंटिंगों के कारण ने खान खोजे और उनके शोध को बहुत प्रसिद्धि दिला दी। भित्ति चित्र में खान खोजे एक मेज के चारों ओर बैठे लोगों के साथ रोटी तोड़ते हुए दिखाए गए थे। इसका शीर्षक था हमारी प्रतिदिन की रोटी, यानी आवर डेली ब्रेड। सन 1947 में भारत को आजादी मिली। स्वतंत्रता के बाद से पत्नी जैन और 2 बेटियां सावित्री और माया के साथ वो भारत वापस आ गए। उन्होंने जीवन के अंतिम समय में दर्शन और धर्म का अध्ययन भी किया। 22 जनवरी सन 1967 में 81 साल में डॉक्टर पांडुरंग सदाशिव खान खोजे का निधन हो गया। उनका जीवन असाधारण था, जो शुरू तो हुआ अंग्रेजों से लड़ने वाले एक क्रांतिकारी के रूप में, लेकिन अंत हुआ एक ऐसे क्रांतिकारी के रूप में जिसने विदेशी जमीन पर लाखों लोगों की थाली में रोटी रख दी।
Can we have a healthy ocean if and when coral has been eradicated from it? Honest answer, we don't know yet. But in my opinion, with coral reefs being home to 30% of the ocean's biodiversity, I don't see how that could be possible. And so even as we struggle to persuade the bulk of humanity and the leaders who represent them of the urgent need for curtailment of our greenhouse gas emissions, in our own best interest, we must work on ways to save coral.
Realizing the importance of coral reef of our country, Ministry of Environment Forest, they wanted to have separate set of National Coral Reef Research Institute, which will be monitoring the entire coral reef of our country. National Coral Reef Research Institute will be headed by Director Zoological Survey of India, Andaman Nicobar Regional Center. Then we have approached Andaman Nicobar administration for allot of land for construction, and happily they allotted 2 acres of land in Andaman Nicobar Islands in Port Blair. India is the 10th largest reef nation, and we have 4 major coral reefs in India, such as Andaman Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep Islands, Gulf of Mannar, Gulf of Kutch, besides small patches in Malwan coast.
For a democratically elected government, the Constitution is a sacred text that adapts itself to changing times to reflect the spirit of continuity amid change. The Indian Constitution is the fruit of a long-drawn national struggle for freedom. It has been our guiding light for a strong democracy. Over the decades, it allowed the country to develop our constitutional bodies and representative institutions. It was the Charter Act of 1853 that provided the country a separate legislature in the form of a 12-member Legislative Council. The Indian Councils Act of 1861, that is described as the prime charter of the Indian legislature, inaugurated the system of legislative devolution in India. It was followed by the Indian Councils Act of 1892 and the Indian Councils Act of 1909. The 1909 Act operationalized the Morley-Minto reforms and introduced the element of election and representation in the Legislative Council at the Union. The Government of India Act of 1919 gave effect to Montagu-Chelmsford reforms. It established a bicameral legislature at the Union for the first time and introduced elements of a responsible form of government in the provinces. In 1922, Mahatma Gandhi asserted that Indians alone should determine India's destiny, which is why the Government of India Act 1935, that came after over a decade, occupies a significant place in the constitutional history of India. It was this act that endeavored to give a written constitution to the country. The Quit India movement of 1942 lent a new thrust to the freedom struggle. Subsequently, there were several efforts to work out the transfer of power and provide for a constitutional framework for free India. As part of those efforts, a British cabinet mission arrived in India on 24th March 1946. On 16th May 1946, the cabinet mission laid down the principles and procedure for framing the future Constitution of India. Members of the Constituent Assembly were elected under the terms of the plan in July 1946. The Indian Independence Act terminated the British Parliament's authority to legislate for India on or after 15th August 1947. The Constituent Assembly thus became a body fully representative of the states and provinces in India and fully sovereign of all external authority. The Constituent Assembly completed its work within 2 years, 11 months and 17 days. And on the 26th day of November 1949, it declared on behalf of the people of India that we do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution. The Constitution of India came into force on 26 January 1950. And on that day, the Constituent Assembly ceased to exist. It functioned as the Provisional Parliament of India till a new parliament was constituted in 1952.
Namaskar, hello and welcome to Sunset TV. I am Namrata Singh. India is at a pivotal moment in its AI journey, a moment defined by scale, impact and ambition. As AI becomes a driving force for inclusive growth and economic transformation, the country is fast emerging as a true frontier AI nation. Today, AI is no longer confined to labs or large corporations. It's reaching citizens everywhere, improving healthcare in remote areas, helping farmers make smarter decisions, transforming classrooms with personalized learning, making cities cleaner and safer, and strengthening public services through faster data-driven governance. India's approach is simple and clear: make AI open, safe, affordable and accessible so that innovation benefits everyone. So to understand why India is poised to become a global champion of ethical and inclusive AI and how the country is already putting this vision into action, so to explore all of this, I'm joined by a very special guest, Ms. Debjani Ghosh, on this edition of Explained, our series on artificial intelligence. Debjani Ghosh is a trailblazer in India's technology and innovation landscape. She's currently serves as a distinguished fellow at Niti Aayog and is the chief architect of the Niti Frontier Tech Hub. So with more than 28 years of experience, including pivotal role at Intel, and as the first woman president of NASSCOM, Ms. Ghosh has been instrumental in establishing India as a global hub for innovation, talent and digital transformation. Ma'am, welcome to Sansad TV and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
To begin with, Niti Aayog has played a key role in shaping India's AI strategy, and as a chief architect of the Niti Frontier Tech Hub, you have been instrumental in positioning India as a global hub for innovation, talent and digital transformation. I just saw a few days back, I saw your fireside chat with Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, where he had mentioned that, the winner of the global AI race won't be decided by the creator, but by the people who adopt it, which country adopts it. And you have also mentioned that India is prepared to lead for a large-scale adoption of AI. So, ma'am, when you talk about this, how well placed is India to lead through rapid and widespread AI adoption?
Well, first, a little different point of view there.
Sure.
I do believe that to lead, you have to do both. You have to also innovate and you also have to create impact, right? You have to lead impact creation. And I think there is no option but for us to do both. We have to figure out how to significantly leapfrog the innovation cycle. How do we become a lead innovator, creator of technologies, creator of AI? And simultaneously, in parallel, we also have to figure out how to become the country that can show the world how to create true impact at scale across the entire population, right? Inclusive impact. So we have to do both. And, I think the pieces of the puzzles are all there, all the different. We have talent. We have really bright talent. We have the hunger. We have the need. I think where we have to now really get ahead of the game is R&D. And we have to figure out how to move from silo, because we're doing a lot of good work as it comes to adoption, but they are in silos. So how do we move from silo to scale? I think those are the two big challenges ahead of India.
Okay, so basically moving from silos to across sectors.
Yes.
In any ways, we are doing a good job in a lot of sectors, in healthcare, education, agriculture. And ma'am, Mr. Nadella also highlighted the company's mission to upskill 20 million Indians in AI by 2030, which is also quite a good initiative. So, ma'am, now I'm going to talk about Niti Aayog's AI's roadmap for Viksit Bharat, which highlights the potential of AI to drive growth across India. And so what does, when we say that potential, then what does this potential means, for a common man?
Sure. So I'll step back a little and talk about what is the Niti Frontier Tech Hub, because that will make sense, right? So the Niti Frontier Tech Hub is basically, our job one is to understand how is technology moving, the evolution of technology. So for example, what is the evolution of intelligence in the next 5 to 10 years? Where will AI go from here? What's next, right? What are the other big tech shifts that's going to be coming? Now, globally, it's been proven that when a tech shift is first spotted, it takes around 10 years for it to become mainstream. Usually, the countries that win the tech races or that, sort of get ahead in the tech game are countries that spot these trends early, anticipate them early, plan for them early, build capabilities, set the standards, and then get to the position where they're leading the narrative.
Okay.
Right? So our goal is to ensure that when the next mega shifts happen, because they're going to be far more disruptive than even AI or what we are seeing today, we do position India ahead of the curve so that India is in a position to lead these shifts versus trying to follow up or trying to catch up. Right? So that's what the Frontier Tech Hub does. It's about understanding the evolution of technology, the potential evolution, and what it means for the country in terms of citizens, industry, government itself, national security, etc., and also global geopolitics. Right? So this is what we study. So as part of that, one of the first roadmaps we came up with, which was launched by Honorable Ministers of Finance and IT, was the roadmap for accelerating economic development with AI. And this was the AI for Viksit Bharat roadmap. What, very simply put, what we looked in that roadmap, or we studied in that roadmap, is where can AI have the maximum impact for economic acceleration?
Okay.
Okay, where can it create? And we found two places.
Okay.
One, just improving productivity, basic productivity across sectors.
Okay.
Right? If India can just do that, figure out how to use AI to improve productivity across key sectors, there itself we can add anything from around 600 to 800 billion in the next 10 years, incremental to the GDP. The second area is enabling companies or enabling sectors leapfrog innovation.
Right.
And if we can do that, that's another roughly 300 to 500 billion that gets added to the GDP in the next 10 years, right? So collectively, I think if we can use AI right, we can add anything between 1 to 1.7 trillion, 7 billion in incremental GDP to the country's economic growth, right? So that's what we looked at. And then we went down, like for example, for productivity, what are the sectors where you'll get the maximum impact? Right? So we identified 4 sectors: manufacturing, financial services, pharma, and automotive.
Okay.
These were the 4 sectors. Then we looked at innovation. Where were you going to see the biggest impact? One of the biggest sectors where we think innovation impact is going to be the highest is pharma.
Okay.
Moving from generic drug development to novel drug development, right? That's going to be a huge opportunity for India. So this is what the roadmap goes into, and then identifies what is needed to make it happen.
Right. Roadmap also links AI's adoption directly, achieving India's ambition of 8% plus economic growth.
Yeah.
What policy frameworks and infrastructure investments are critical to ensure that AI's ambition translates into tangible societal and economic impact, especially, uplifting India's massive informal workforce?
So if you look at, let's break it down, right? Because the two are very different problems. If you look at economic impact, to unlock economic impact, I think, again, the foundation is coming together very well. With India AI Mission, we now have a decent compute infrastructure. Compute is never enough. You always need more compute, and I'm sure they will continue to grow the capacities. You have to have a very strong skilling infrastructure that needs to come in place. You need to have a very strong R&D infrastructure that now with RDI, I think we will unlock that. I'm very, very hopeful we will unlock that. And last but not the least, the most important thing, which is data.
Okay.
And I think that's where India faces the biggest challenge, because though we are a data-rich country, our data sits in silos. And access to data for innovation is a big challenge in the country. So one of the things we have to fix is we have to figure out how to unlock the data in a safe, responsible way that can significantly boost innovation, right? So that's from an economic growth perspective, These are the elements that needs to come together. And I think the one thing we've called out in our roadmap is you can't have generic AI strategies anymore.
Yes, yes.
So you need to have sectoral AI roadmaps. So what is needed in the fintech sector? What is needed in manufacturing? What is needed in automotive? So we need to build out sectoral roadmaps, right? You asked about the informal sector, and that's a very, very important question you asked, because that's nearly 500 million people, 50% of our GDP. And when we started the work to understand what could be AI's role in the informal sector, we found that there's hardly any study that has happened with respect to AI in the informal sector.
Right.
It's like an invisible sector when you talk about technology.
And it's a very important sector.
Without it, you cannot even imagine Viksit Bharat.
Exactly.
You have to grow this sector in order to realize the vision of becoming a developed nation. Right?
Absolutely.
So, you know, when we look at that sector, I think it starts from the basics. You need an end-to-end play, technology play, primarily driven by AI, that will bring in trust, that will bring in relevant skilling, relevant tools, relevant solutions, and also it will bring in an identity to the sector, which is today lacking, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we have looked at in terms of what is needed for the sector. But we believe if these things can be done, you can significantly, more than 5x, grow productivity in that sector in the next 10 years.
Since ma'am, you were talking about the R&D and skilling and also generative AI, the report also mentions about generative AI being seen as the powerful tool to transform R&D and accelerate innovation in AI for Viksit Bharat. So in India's context, you know, where time, cost, finance matters a lot, how do you see generative AI helping shorten this R&D cycles and make innovation more affordable?
First of all, I'm not a fan of using the word generative AI. I think we give these names and they become buzzwords. Let's talk about AI, right?
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, it comes down to the basics of deep learning and, you know, where that is going with neural networks. Anyway, so if you look at, let's take the example of drug discovery.
Okay.
Today, the use of AI, and especially the work that has happened in leveraging AI to understand